class that is the central bank that has the responsibility to stabilize price, and also they give tone or direction of the economy with this their tone. And that is why you as analysts, I always say it anywhere, anytime, any day. If you want to know the stage the economy where you are is, you want to look at three basic things that you want to guide you. Look at where is inflation going, where is interest rate going, and also what is the industrial output or national output of that domain or that environment where you are. It will guide you to know where they are, and also don't forget that different sectors strive in different economic cycle. That means there's a cycle that you see in the economy. Some sector will be benefiting from it, while some sector will also be will be be on the on disadvantage side because of what the other policy or the what is going on that particular time. That's why as an investor or trader, you must understand where the economy is at any given time to know exactly what to do. Now we have seen high interest rate for almost a year, for almost decade. You can see that that has also put the US economy as we speak now into recession, whether they say it's mild recession or not. Recession is recession already. And if they continue in that direction of hiking rate, it's going to affect not only US, also other Western economy. For that, we expect that the end of the era of aggressive tightening is around the corner, as all eyes are what on many economic data that will determine where next this central banks will be looking at. As we speak now, a lot of focus that will happen this period in terms of interest rates. Like by the 3rd of May, where we're having a we are Fed we're having a meeting. They expect to see around the 25 basis points hike in rate. Also, EU, so with the eurozone, that is the European Central Bank also is also looking at the 25 basis points and range of 50. While we're seeing that Japan, Bank of Japan is leaving a straight unchanged for this coming up April 28th. Why that of United Kingdom, which is Bank of England, was also to see a basic 25 basis point up for that environment. You can see even Australia unchanged. You can see that there are other sector, other economy or other domain where these things are going to be unchanged. If you look at what is happening in the Central Eastern Europe, like in Poland, in Hong Kong, and all those stuff, all those people they have left their rate unchanged, or they are planning to leave their rate unchanged. The one that I'm meeting today is Hong Kong Central Bank on the 25th of April. They are planning to leave their rate unchanged. And that of Poland is on the 10th of May. You can see that means month of May will be a lot of attention for investors. That's why I see as the month is coming to an end for April, all eyes are what on the month of May. What to give an investor or the manufacturers a clear direction where they are going. As we speak, many sectors of the economy are slowing down. But with all eyes on what on the earnings now, knowing that this rate hike will come in May, all eyes on earnings, knowing that what happened in the financial sector in this Western world again was the month of March, that we want to see what has been the impact of that on the financials of companies in that quarter, the first 3 months of the year. But the good thing is that for the financial sector, from especially from US, I see that about 88% of the other sector have kind of beat earnings expectation for the period. Only few that also have performed below. That's why you can see that investor in the first this first Royal Bank they call it, is also trying to divest or kind of set down to others, because they see that there are some banks that have done well. You can see that this bank with special attention, like what happened to the Silicon Valley Bank. You can see because of the peculiarity, the nature of the operation. That's what happened in Europe. I speak now. The USBN also there's a kind of a history there because their earning per share, their first quarter result was not good because the profit dropped about almost 51% for the first quarter. You can see that in any environment, there are sector that we want to look at. You know that financial sector is the key of any economy. When they see some some sign of things not well, investors want to really look at what alternative. But the US bank has shown that yes, the big banks there have solidified their position with their first quarter result. That despite what happened, why in Europe, where the fear is already there because even the Swiss credit also we're expecting that to give us a clear direction where this are what is slowing down this market as we speak. As we speak across the globe now, market is what is down. In US market is slightly in red. Also in Europe, while in Asia we're still seeing a mixed market. Despite that oil price has a bit stabilized at 82.37 dollar per barrel as we speak. As a result of what seeing that the high preparation for China, people moving out for what for holiday for May. And you can see that that also impacted oil price to kind of rebound recently, even during already, in mature economy to around this price. That's why oil has been below around the 80, 81, and even below before now, coming back to 80, 82. But I believe that because of the booking, they are seeing that most China that have been on restriction are trying to travel out of China for what, for activity. That also will increase demand for what, for oil and for petrol, for crude oil and activities. For that, we are seeing that also supporting the crude oil price as we speak now. But I believe that what is happening in Ukraine will continue to be a factor for this volatility we are seeing in price of crude oil, and at the same time, volatility also is what is happening in the commodity market. But also another good news for investors in commodity market is that as we are seeing that the US dollar is finding kind of looking for a footing, a direction now, and it's coming down. That will also make a commodity market boom, because you have a weaker dollar now, and that will support more demand for what, for commodity. These are the things that investors are looking at. But the focus on those that are in the market now is what is the earnings of this company that are on the total company of this environment. But I told you about the banking sector. But the recent result that was released in Swiss from Nestle, consider that there was a marginal growth in Nestle result in that environment. Why those big banks there are perform well? Consider also in telecom, where are the few telecom that control the S&P 500 in US, and they have not yet released the results, because among them only just few that have supported the market all this while in the end. All eyes on this telecom companies to release the results. Also, these are the things investors are looking at as we speak now. For me, there's no cause for alarm in the market. All we don't need, that you need to align yourself to what is happening across the globe, and also what is happening here, in Africa. But the good thing that down here in Africa, we're seeing also a mixed market, but NGS as we speak is in green, on a strong word, on a strong buying sentiment for the market. Even at this hour, it opened green and it has sustained to this hour. On the trend also, all eyes on what, on more Q1 numbers, because the Q1 number that I've reached so far are giving investors a kind of excitement, and also courage that yes, despite the cash crunch we saw, or the economic contraction we saw in the month of February and March, still we are seeing the positive number coming from the financial service provider, while the few one that come from the consumer goods we just what investors are still looking at if it is true, because the number that came from the material sector or the consumer goods sector, I will tell you the one I've seen so far are very impressive if it will be sustained going to the future. But we believe that as most of investors are also looking at what will be the policy of incoming government, and in terms of economic policies, you can see that in recent time we are seeing the price of naira trying to stabilize. Good. We are seeing also that this will have also slowed down a little in terms of price. Also, we are seeing that also most commodity like garri and other things are a bit stable. Only the perishable ones, as well as tomato and others, that have kind of the other preservation, or what they are seeing disease affecting them, they are, where they are being manufactured, where they are seeing their prices are high. No, we are seeing a bit of stability, because everyone is looking at it. What will the incoming government come with? That's why I said, as an investor, during this uncertainty of transition in power, let us know it kind of talk will be in another position. And that's why last Saturday we had the guest speaker in the premium class for those that are in Investdata, Jumbo Park. We had a class, and also not only that, the stock were given for that class. Also, I can tell you that 3 of those stocks are already in green this morning, and also those that came for master class, first one in April. If you as an investor, it is time for you to know that you must look for information. Yes, you must have people that we call it in advanced market consensus. What you are seeing, who other people are seeing it. You must be in a trading commodity, in a family where all of you are in the same direction, bringing different idea. That is how to gather information and make information. If you are standing on alone, you might guess, you might be an expert, but where you see you are the kind of cross-breeding what information, and also checking the source of information, that will give you a kind of confidence. And when you are trading with confidence because of knowledge you are gathering, I'm telling you, your decision will be at times more than 80 to 90% perfect. Yes, you cannot have 100% control of the market, but you need to up your game in knowledge. That's why, as we speak now, if you come down to see what has happened in terms of fundamental, which you want to look at now that I've seen how the global market has performed, I want to quickly look at how the financials that are released so far in the market, where are they going to, what sign are they giving us? Because I told you that the pending final full year results that are still out there is Fidelity, SBN Holding, and Sterling Bank. I think these are the 3 major ones that we're here to see. We saw what results that came from Access Bank last week. and no, their full year. Also, they also alongside they release immediately the first quarter. We're looking at this number to tell you where are this bank going and which sector you are likely to focus at this time that inflation is at this level. Yes, we're seeing that because of high interest rates, we're seeing that fixed income market become attractive, which also will be a challenge to equity market. But there are some moves in the market that can still give you money if you're able to identify this. And you can't identify this if you're using your ordinary eye to look at. That's why you, as an investor or trader, understand how to combine your what your technical and your fundamentals. I believe that those that attended the masterclass, I told them earlier that the life of transport we're seeing today, apart from the entrance of the third light, you will see that volume for the beginning of the year have changed. And even when results came to the market, results for the first quarter was not too good. But because of the momentum investing, and that the price is still going up, that's why that the Q1 result is not. That's why you must understand how to play with your word, with your volume, your support, and your resistance level, your breakouts, your T line. Understand it so that any given time you can identify opponent that will give you more than what even fixed income instrument can give you. Because I know now that for those that risk apart might be looking the war of fixed income, which is good, but for you that understand the market, there you can diversify your portfolio is good. But look at where have some cards that when opportunities spring up in the market, you are already there to know exactly what to do at the right time. That is what I expect every investor to be doing at this time because knowledge is power. And once you have that knowledge, I'll tell you, you will go places with your investment decision because that will help you to boost your bottom line at the end of the day. Yes, we want to start with the Access Corp that just released the Q1 results last week before the holiday. Yeah, if you look at that number that came from Access Corp, I'll tell you this is a fantastic number and a point that the full year we have seen, if not the provision they made forward for the debt stability or crisis in Ghana, but see because as a proactive companies which ideally give a hand to every bank, all the banks in Nigeria because they've done perfect in terms of provision for what has happened. But I believe that that provision might not continue as high as we saw the which what they made in last year, in this current year. Because also, if Ghana was able to find it right, you can see that most of the economic data in Ghana are coming down to point to a bit recovering. If that is sustained, we might see that before the end of the year, those Ghana come back again and start paying them. Those provisions they are made become a profit for the banks. That means these banks, for me, there's no cause for us to be panicking, but rather we take advantage of the price and also the numbers we are seeing now to guide us a lot to know what to do, especially we, the traders and investors in the market. We are not spectators, we are there to make money. If you look at the Q1 number that came from Access Bank, okay, this is fantastic. Looking at the gross earnings for this bank or this group for first quarter, the first 3 months of 2023, okay, this is a good one. The gross earnings moved from 295.74 billion to 424.91 billion. That is 44% up or 43.6 anyone in the green. Also, PAT also sustained that momentum we saw on the top line. Also, we saw that PAT stand at 71.66 billion against 57.83 billion in 2022. That's about 24% in the green, also above inflation. You can see one thing that is good. Look at all this financial sector. Most of their top line are above inflation. It tells you that there's something in this financial service provider as investor on what you're looking at as we speak now. This 71.66 billion translates to 2 naira 6 kobo or 2 or 1 naira 99 kobo. Anyone you put it up, I'll tell you that it's a pointer. If we're seeing 2 naira 6 kobo for Access first quarter against 1 naira 61 kobo, this for me is a good move for the year. On this trend of 2 naira 6 kobo or 1 naira 99 kobo, we are forecasting that we're going to see nothing less than 7 naira or 8 naira from Access if this trend is sustained. And if Access make around 8 naira or 6 naira, don't expect to see anything less than 180 of 2 naira because they have given us a clear direction where they are going for growing their dividend for 2022, even when they are making huge provision from 70 kobo final to 1 naira 30 kobo. That speaks a lot where Access is going. This is another dimension that Access is taking. That means you that Access let your investment objective guide you what to do or not because you know why you are there. If you are a trader like me, you have entered at 8 naira, at 12 naira, 12.10, you are out of profit. Fine. For people that are long term, that want to take dividend and wait, I think Access is the place to be. If we're not seeing that they slow down to consolidate their expansion, that at the end of the day, we are seeing this also reflecting on their bottom line. Access is a place to be for long term because they are really sure that they are the best bank, the first bank in terms of gross earning, the first Nigeria bank to cross 1 trillion. That speaks volume for them. But coming to that stretch 4 billion, 1 billion, more than 1 billion, 1.3 billion trillion, gross earning for full year, and for me, it speaks a lot of value for them, and that is what also. If you look at also the what we call the profit margin for the first quarter still attractive above 15%, which is 16 no 86%. That means every 1 naira about 17 kobo is retained as what as profit for me. So, but if you look at compared to the previous year 2022, that means a decline from 19.155 no percent to 16.86%, which is good. But operating cash flow for assets for me for 3 months no stood at 176.25 billion against a negative 345.31 billion for 2022. You can see that I told you earlier that when you see a negative cash flow for the bank sector because of their nature, it's not planning. But now we're seeing that access is positive, which is also okay. During that this first quarter, and I believe that because of the activities to solve that kind of contraction, because of cash flow, we might not see much of the bank giving out loan, but we believe that subsequently more loan, even when GT are so that they're going to structure their loan giving for this year so that they will know to manage their own. For me, I expect that more from the banks in going to the more to the subsequent quarters in this year 2023. We're looking at Stanbic IBTC. I'll tell you that the bank's results Q1 have shown where they are going. Which I said earlier that despite the cash flows and the attack we experienced, that most of the banks are going to post a positive number. We're already seen that the Q1 for these banks are looking good, and we prepare to see more. We have not seen Zenith Bank Q1. I've not seen that for GTB. We're going to go for Stanbic IBTC. We are saying now. I'll tell you this also another for me a boom for the sector. That's why Stanbic right for time. Those that are also following that. I say Stanbic is one of the defensive stock in the banking sector that is strong. Defensive stock, what I mean in the banking sector, because share issue is so small and also the shareholding structure is also tight. That's the thing that's also supporting Stanbic IBTC. Not only that, they have a holding company that different subsidiary or different business units have contributed towards to the bottom line of Stanbic. With their low share in issue, can see it also in their what in their earning per share anytime they their result. For me, also you can consider to put this kind of stocks in your portfolio depending on your what investment objective. Yes, if you look at Stanbic, gross earning for the period, it moved from 55.79 billion to 80.99 billion. That's about 45% in the gain for the top line. Yes, you can look at the difference between the kind of gross earning we are seeing in Access Bank and in Stanbic. That's that where Access is going, and if they're able to consolidate their position and start putting more on their bottom line, I think that bank has potential to go up. And the way they are flying, we also try to bring a payment platform to their circle or to their business unit. That would also be a good thing for Access Bank. That means for investors, these are the things you also be looking at. For traders, looking at what to move your price for interim and you make money and come back in because you want to go in and go out. Yes, for Stanbic, I said earlier that 55.79 billion to 80.99 billion, that is 45% in the green. PAT also moved that direction heavily from 15.1 billion to 28.86 billion, representing 91% in the green. That reflected on the EPS for the quarter. It translates to 2 naira 16 kobo EPS against 1 naira 11 kobo. You can see that yes, this is a big move forward for Stanbic. On this note, you can forget that Stanbic at the end of the year can give us nothing less than 9 naira. I can see that when we start seeing the banks sector giving us 10 naira any per share, if you expect what they're going to spend. With now this note, you can see that Stanbic on financial will expect nothing less than 9 naira 50 kobo any per share for the full year, or 8 naira, 89 kobo. These are the things that we're looking at for that if this trend is sustained going to the future. Also, the profit margin for Stanbic stood at 35.63%. You can see that in every 1 naira, about 36 kobo is retained. This is a good profit margin against 27.01% in 2022. You can see improvement in Stanbic efficiency and all. That means the Stanbic Bank has really improved compared to Access Bank. We're seeing about 16 point. This is 35.6. Tell you that I'll tell you this is a good one. And that also the operating cash flow for this period for Stanbic also slowed down to 99.56 billion against 117.24 billion in 2022. These are the things that you should look at in the financial sector. They are very, very strong, and they can tell you that all the banks that of both UBA, Stanbic, and Asset, their balance sheet as at Q1 is still very, very strong. And also an improvement of what you will see in their full year 2022. It tells that these banks are solid, and also that our banks have been strong despite what has happened globally, where the West was seeing a banks having issue. Our banks here, as the Central Bank has already affirmed in many occasions, we can see it on their numbers and also on the performance of this company that yes, these banks are solid. For me, there's no cause for alarm. If you're in a bank, you can even see today, we are seeing that banks are rallying. Even last week, we saw it. There are people also taking advantage of the low price because most of them are giving us a what we call high margin of safety. Because if you look at the book value or the fair value of these companies, or you can see that what they are really trading on what at a discount. The other thing that people can really take them. Yes, you might see that this period of high yield in the physical market, but I will tell you there are some people that are long-term investors taking advantage of low price, knowing that at the end of the day, even at the 14 high 1 year, if I stay 1 year in these stocks, I'm going to make more than that 14% or 14.7%. But we know that here for safety, for those that are risk averse, can do that. But for those that are taking calculative risk, know that there are some banks that will give you even more than with their dividend and also capital return. You can even make more than 50% if you are performing better depending on your investment objective and also your time to resolve. These are very things that we also have in mind. Finally, we want to look at the consumer goods that hit the market. These consumer goods, I'll tell you, the figures are very impressive. I'll tell you, when I saw them, it didn't fascinate me. I was quite I think, wow, even with all the the cash crunch that the people were never have access to consume to buy, we are seeing a what improvement in the financial. But for me, I want to see more and also before I can conclude. But the two I've seen so far from Unilever and the Cadbury, these are good numbers, and I'll tell you why they are good numbers as we go along. Then if you look at Unilever first quarter number, 3 months no performance because the management account, they can easily release them, even the banks, no auditing process. But now you can look at it as it is to give it is for guide for investors. The revenue for Unilever moved from 20.56 billion to 24.61 billion. That is just 20% in the green for the first quarter. And earning profit PAT level moved from 1.8 billion to 2.67 billion. That is 48%, 48% in the green for what for Unilever. For me, it's a good one. That translates to what 46 kobo earning per share against 31. On the strength of this of 46 kobo, you can see at the end of the day, well, let's say it's around there 2 naira or 1 naira 85 kobo earning per share for full year. If you can see if this trend is sustained in Unilever, despite the plan to sell their detergent and some business line, we are seeing that the Q1 and also they have recently changed their management. We expect that the person that bring has knowledgeable insight about the operation of because it has had different Unilever across the globe before coming back to Nigeria. For me, it's a good one for Unilever, but for those that enter Unilever, you have to think twice because Unilever you can't really say yes because tomorrow if the environment change, macroeconomic change, it might also help. But for now, if we are seeing that the impact of climate do not reflect much, that means they are becoming resilient to kind of absorb shock and move forward. For me, it's a good one for them. And also the the profit margins also for Unilever is also 10.85, which is good above the international standard against 8.75 percent last year in 2022. But the good thing is that we need to understand that the operating cash flow for for this period for Unilever, I will tell you there's kind of has improved significantly. If you look at the operating cash flow for the period, it moves to around 12 billion against the 4.99 billion in 2021. This is good and also strong to support their earnings going into the future for the subsequent quarter. You can see that they have cash to expand. You can see that that's why looking at the company operating cash flow is very slow. You can see that just with the short month they're having enough cash to that's why what is meeting their short responsibility obligation is there already for them. For me, it's equal. This will go ahead to support what Unilever performance, even in the second quarter coming. For me, this is a good news for Unilever. Finally, we look at what is happening in in Cadbury, so I can quickly go to our life chart. As Cadbury for me is also a good one that we should also consider at this point. Cadbury, top line was up by 30% from 12.79 to 16.56, 30% in the green. Life and you have seen it for the previous quarter. It's an indication where Cadbury is going, but only that Cadbury for me. I said Cadbury earnings have not been stable. If you go and check it, there's a period that Cadbury will bring out a positive number. Towards the end of the year, it comes down. Also, towards the year, you can see that things kind of jump, significantly because of this kind of fluctuation up and down in Cadbury. Most people that are forecast most time miss their forecast or their target. But now this is the first quarter for 2023. It's a good start for them. If this trend is sustained for Cadbury, we might see also a better number at the end of the year, which is good for us if we are that stuff because the number is coming up powerfully at the first for the financial year. For me, it's a good one. The PAT moved from 1.54 billion to 3.45 billion. That is about 124% in the green, and that's related to what 1 naira 84 kobo any per share for first quarter for Cabri. On this note, if the Cabri sustain this number, I would say nothing less than 4 naira full year any per share will come for Cabri. If that come and Cabri, if you look at the history of Cabri, they pay up to like 50% of their earnings. If Cabri sustain this number till the end of the year, that means nothing less than 2 naira should come from Cabri or what or 1 naira 80 kobo, and instead of selling below. No, you can see for those independent because the numbers are not and also the increasing headwinds, economic headwind also. But that's why I said let's look at actually to see what the policy of incoming government will be. If we are seeing relatively stable in what in exchange rate, if that is sustained or bring down further, or even not down, but we see it at a good rate that people having access to it, it will go a long way to boost what the manufacturing sector activities in the new year, in the new correct in the new financial year. Yes, already seen the first quarter. This is what I mean. Then if you go to see Cabri profit margin, this is wow. While it stood at 20.83% against 12 point, you can see improvement in Cabri. Also, as Unilever saw excess cash, then also was seen that the operating cash flow for Cabri for 3 months was up to 2.42 billion against 1.12 billion. You can see this is more than 100% growth in their cash flow. That means all this company also has cash also to expand the business. That's why when you see a company having a cash flow positive, it support what the earnings. That's why I say when you see a company earning that is going up, having a positive cash flow, that company is where it should go. When you see earnings going up and cash flow is going down, it's a matter of time to say the back. But for the number of houses so far on Q1, these are beautiful numbers or fantastic number, impressive number that we should look at. That's why this week we expect to see more Q number. But this week we expect all of them to release their first quarter, especially that has December as year end. Why do that has March at year end? We're supposed to see that all of these account in this in this week for this not the end of the world. Especially you can see the life of Honeywell, Flower Mill, Resta, University Press, and all they are really results. You can see that this morning. You can see that when we come to the chart, we'll see that what is happening right now. As we let's quickly go to the market to see what is happening in the market. I believe that this insight from the numbers will guide you that there's no cause for alarm, but because of the high interest rate and also high yield, there might be little move for front to some stock. But good thing that we're seeing buying sentiment and positive sentiment and upbeat in the market as we speak, despite the high interest rate or yield we're seeing in the market. That is a good one for the market. Quick one as we speak now. I want to look at what the market is doing right now. Market is doing around the for me, market is around the 51,451.10 basic flat. That means in terms of number. Why in terms of change we're looking about 95.44 basic point, which represent about 0.24% in the green. And if you look at the market breadth, I would say this is a pure positive one. We're seeing 20 gainers against 5 losers as we speak now. Says that we're seeing more gainers in the market. That means people are taking more position in the market, which is also a good news for investors that upbeat we saw last week, despite that it was a short trading period week for 4 days. This morning we're already seeing that yes, another opening is going on the grid on a positive note that gives investor an insight to where the market is going, even as we're coming to the end of the month, and at the same time expect to see what will take place between now and May 20. Once we cross over to May and after May 1st, activities will just the preparation for change of baton in leadership in the country. That was going to change some sentiment and direction. Now we have seen after the election, we have seen that there's little stability coming to different facets of the economy. Gradually, let's see the policy that will come. Whether it will sustain that, go into future, we also know from their on their policy. But if you look at the top losers as we speak now, we are seeing that Royal Estate is leading in that chart, followed by Arrow Briscoe. We are seeing ICO also at that level. Now also FBN Holding is there and PZ. These are the top 5 losers as we speak. Then if you look at the gainers this hour, we see that the Japan Gold is 10% flat. We are seeing the Honeywell also 9.9%. We are seeing Transcorp also 9.8% this hour. Transport have maintained that momentum. We are seeing Ikeja Hotel and World and FPNB on that top gainers this morning. For me, this is a good news for the market. If you look at it in terms of volume, For the period so far, we have seen that Access Bank was almost 181 181 million share traded so far, but followed by Transcorp, 60 87 million share traded. Then we have seen the Zenith Bank back to 22.30, which is good, doing the 19.26 million this for hour, and why Fidelity is doing also 8.29 million share, and followed by what Dangote Sugar doing around 7.5 million share at this hour. This is the state of the market. But quickly, we want to look at what is happening on our chart. We want to look at these stocks that are doing well. Where are they going? Let's look at the chart to see where we are going. Yes, you know that we'll spend most of our time on looking at, we'll continue on this chart tomorrow, but we must look at what the market is doing. If you look at the market here now, you can see market are making lower low, but here you can see that market is doing what? Lower high. You can see that the accumulation or the rebound that we saw last week is sustained at this hour. Market is still, but despite that, we have not taken out this red bullish candle here. Let's quickly call the T line. It will tell us where the T line is now. This is what I like so much, so that it will tell you the strength within the market and what next we are expecting to see. Let's go to our T line. Very, very important. T line here. Go and check our to see. We need to get it right with that T line. You can see where our T line is now. The index action is almost getting to T line. Once it break out, that confirms a new trend in the market. But let's look at where is the money flow looking at, and what is the stochastic RSI is doing at this point too. Let's look at it. We need to look at them together because it's very, very important. And go back to see what the stochastic oscillator is doing. Yes. Think even we didn't do much, but let's look at, you can see where the T line is now for the market. Market is always once you cross the T line, and I'm happy that getting here on a good volume. I see that market volume is green, almost coming to, once you break out this black line that's above and you can see that money flow has inched up this morning. Okay, little around the 30 point. Okay, it's looking down slightly, but I believe that there's a positive news here. That will also look at the stochastic oscillator here. They sign that market at over sold region, also driving momentum to break out, and why some of the stocks want to quickly look at them. I want to look at just two stocks now to see how far they are going. Look at the FCMB. Look at FCMB and the FCMB, Transcorp and Access. Let's see. I see FCMB on a day chart. I can see that there was a breakout here to almost 4 naira, 19 kobo this morning. You can see that I see there, despite that it's trying to resist the decline here. You can see, but money flow also have moved around 28, but still below 50. Once it cross 50, but you can see that there's a sharp move here on this stock. Let's quickly look at 1 hour chart for FCMB. Still positive. You can see it on the green, where the money flow is about 73 on the 1 hour chart. Let's quickly look at what is happening in Access Corp also, so that we can have insight to what to do. Is the momentum dying at this point? You need to understand. Let's look at Access Corp and finally look at that Access Corp on 1 hour chart. You can see that it is slowing down. It's a sign of what? Profit taking here already. And quick one, because of this, what I'm saying now, let's see that the 1 hour day chart. A day chart has above almost 10 naira 80 kobo this morning, but now it's down to 10 naira 60 kobo, 10.50. We want to look at 15-minute chart for this one. We will now know exactly what is happening, and I'll tell you what to do with the chart. On 15 minutes, I tell you that there's profit taken already in the stock on the chart, so that you know what to do. For those that are for traders and those that are for dividend income, already we are seeing a step down on the stock already. And this, but despite the positive number we saw that we brought this for this hour, you can see that there's a set down on it. Finally, we look at the Transcorp before we call it a day. We'll continue tomorrow, hopefully by God's grace. Look at Transcorp. This Transcorp on 15-minute chart, the stay is still very strong on the 15-minute chart. You can see it here. We'll quickly go to 1 hour chart on Transcorp, so that we'll come back home. On 1 hour chart, you can see that it's still very, very strong. Where you can see momentum here on Transcorp. Yes, money flow is still not above on the 1 hour chart, but we'll go to a day chart on Transcorp to see what it's doing. Transcorp on it, I see that it's at the peak there. Momentum is very, very strong. Money flow is around the 80 for me. This is good for Transcorp at this hour. Transcorp is very, very strong as we speak now. That means you need to hold your position if you're in Transcorp, because the momentum in Transcorp is very, very strong. As investor, hold your position, especially with the entrance of I can see that kind of that what we call investing momentum. It's not because of fundamental now. This is not because of sentiment. It's more for momentum. Something is pushing that. I can see volume on transport on daily basis. And then something is happening there. As a trader, don't be greedy. You know why you're transport. Once you meet your target, take it. Don't say because it's going up, the same way go up, can go down, as we go so quickly. That means now transport is really up for me. You can see that there's a strong momentum here. You can see here where the volume, and we're seeing volume in that stuff. For me, there's no cost for a life and transport, but no one to take profit and also be watchful. On this note, I'll say thank you for your time. Yes, we have eaten into another time this morning. They've started giving me a sign in my on the background that I've overshoot my time today. Yes, we'll start tomorrow again by God grace. See you then tomorrow, hopefully, and enjoy the rest of your trading day. Bye.